All right, all right, all right. I was getting ready to run that back one more time. Shout out to Diddy. Run that back. That's right. We're not going nowhere, right? All right, all right, all right. Shout out to the listeners. It is June 25th of 2025. We are here. We're going to do a quick show, maybe about a half hour. Uh, we'll see. I'm going to try to make it quick as I can. I'm going to probably play. Actually, I know I'm going to play. Uh, Trump is at NATO, or was, or is at NATO today. There's a lot going on, but I want to play some of his comments. Right now, the White House, of course, and DOD is defending that the Iranian site was destroyed. More photos and stuff are coming out. I think they just released some photos today. I mean, looks pretty destroyed to me. But you know how the spin is going to spin. So I'm not there, obviously. But I think the IAEA is going to do some stuff there. I think I seen an article earlier. I don't know if they're reporting on it on the mainstream, but they were saying that based off the damages, there's some environmental issue. Of course, we knew that was going to be there, but there's some environmental issues with some of the leakage, obviously. Trump's position, of course, is based off, I guess they got more information. He believes Israel has already been there or is there now checking it out. However they're doing that, right? But and they believe everything is destroyed for the most part. But you still gotta dig a lot of that stuff out. So that's gonna be it's gonna be a whole process to figure all this stuff out. I think Iran is chilling right now. I know that they had met with Russia. I was gonna play that, but the clip that I found with Putin and I guess it was the Ayatollah, right? I can't remember now. It was a couple days ago. But anyway, whoever he was meeting with from Iran, unless it was the foreign minister or who, off the top of my head right now. But they met, they talked, but Putin I would say, was pretty tepid with it. He wasn't really, unless someone can find it. I didn't see him declaring any major statements. I mean, him and Trump talked, and Trump was telling him, let's focus on Ukraine, and losing 7 or 8,000 or 6 or 7,000 men a week. I think both sides may have lost almost 2 million people or whatever the number is. It's war, so that's a sacrifice you make, of course, to do what you got to do. When you're fighting over territory. So that's the real world. But anyway, so I think he's going to have some meetings with them. He's going to talk to Zelensky as well. To see can they start to try to calm some of that down. We'll see how that goes. Cause, I don't think Russia's going to give anything back. So I mean, Ukraine's going to have to take it. I think they're going to have to bend the knee and negotiate and let them have. I don't know if it was 20% or 30% that he's taking. I can't remember the exact number that they're controlling right now. But and even though they sent some drones over there from Ukraine, sent some drones over and took out a bunch of planes supposedly and some other things, and had some other damage in some of the other areas, kind of in the interior of Russia or near Moscow, I think, or something like that. But I'm putting that from like a week or two ago. I can't remember the details. But anyway, the market was doing good yesterday. It's down a little bit today. There was at a nice pop yesterday in the market, the bond market and the stock market, and crypto as well. It looks like, I think, did Cuomo concede? Cuomo must have conceded. Did he just do that today or yesterday? So what is it? I may play a little bit of what's his name? Mamadani or whatever his name is, to win the Democratic primary in New York City mayoral run. I mean, it's been all over the news. It's just New York takes up so much oxygen when they do stuff. It's kind of funny, actually. Which is just funny to me when you think about that mayor's race when it takes place. Boy, it's kind of funny. They consume so much. But he is, I think, the guy who is going to be who won the primary. I'm assuming he is a Democratic socialist, so it's going to be a whole conversation. I mean, it's a mayor's job, but Of course, it's going to be a whole conversation on, the left needs to go more left, of course, yada yada yada. Uh, so what else with Trump? Yeah, I'm gonna play the video as well. Like I said, from NATO. Here's a couple of videos I wanted to touch on. I ran across a couple of lefties talking about some race stuff that just drove me crazy. I mean, crazy. I don't know if I'm gonna play that. I may save that. I might say that for DC if he does a show on Saturday. I meant to say that for him and go through that video. Um, but anyway, let me find the video for Trump. And there's so many videos to this. They've been talking. Most of the day, really. I'm trying to see which one I wanted to play. Uh, yeah, I've been trying to stay away from the mayoral stuff, but it's just so many videos. I at least want to know who to do. I need to know a little bit more about him. 'Cause I feel like the left is gonna try to use this to, push their agenda, of course. Let me see if I can look up this video for Trump. It's so much going on, though. So much going on. Yeah, shout out to Dr. Umar. I think his school got vandalized pretty bad, maybe some days ago. He was gone for a month, so not sure what that was about. Yep, and OKC, the Thunder, yeah, they won the NBA championship. So that was pretty cool. Let me see. Which video do I want to pull for Trump? I think he had a video where him, uh, Pete, and Marco was taking questions. I thought was pretty interesting, and I should have snagged it. I was watching some of it. This might be it right here. I was watching some of it earlier. Yeah, this might be it. I'm trying to find a clean one. Let's see. Let's play this and see what it sounds like. Did he call? Did Trump call? Did Trump call? Oh boy. Did Trump call the new mayor dude? The primary dude who won the primary. He just called him a communist. That's funny. They called him a communist lunatic. That's pretty funny. You say, well, both Iran are reloading, Israel reloading. This ain't no. Oh well, I mean, yeah, this ain't. Yeah, I mean, Israel wants they want regime change, so they want to take them out completely. So yeah, it definitely not over. That's a fact. I mean, Trump can curse and try to negotiate all he wants. I mean, he makes a great argument, but unfortunately, the president of the United States, I don't think is just he doesn't have all the influence that he thinks he should have. I'll put it that way. Because he makes a great argument from a Western perspective. If we've made a decision as a nation that they cannot have nuclear weapons, I really don't give a shit about the details of that. Our country has made a decision that that they cannot have the nuclear weapons. So, um, Israel's position, of course, is we want to topple the government. Let's get it done. And so we'll see what. Of course, a lot of spies are involved in this, a lot of espionage and stuff. So we'll see if they can manufacture something to drag Trump into just taking out the whole government. But I don't know, man. If Iran believes in self-preservation, I mean, we are a behemoth power. Unfortunately, a lot of anti-Americans who are Americans and Europeans, they're running so much propaganda that America is collapsing and all this other stupid bullshit. You know, it's just that in itself is insane. But anyway, but back to the business of it all. I think that Israel may figure out a way or try to figure out a way to deal with Iran. I mean, I think Israel doesn't realize they probably have bigger problems. They genocided. I would argue they're not talking about it, and they don't hear that word genocide. But I mean, I think they may have killed 25% of the population of Gaza. So they can take that how they want to take it. But when it comes out, the amount of people who are dead and who are injured, I think it's going to be well over 700,000 people when it's all said and done. Maybe close to 1 million, maybe half the population. But as far as deaths, I think it's going to be pretty high. I'd be surprised if it's not pushing 300,000 or 400,000 people at the end of the day. But anyway, I don't want to go down the Israeli thing. That's just it's like a never-ending nightmare. But let's see here. So we got Trump. I think this is the video that I want. We can kind of jump through this video. Let's see. President Trump. Let's see if this is the one I want to hear.
Was it bad? Well, it was really bad. It was devastating. They were obliterated. In fact, you can't get into the tunnels. They just put a certain way, the incredible people. It's a great place. And all of the NATO allies for the tremendous summit that we just had. A letter just came in and the statement was really inoperable. It was devastating. It's so sad that whole thing had to go. But I just want to thank our pilots. They were maligned and treated very bad, demeaned by New York Times. They put out a story that, well, maybe they were hit, but it wasn't bad. Well, it was so bad that they ended the war. It ended the war. Somebody said in a certain way, that it was so devastating, actually. If you look at Hiroshima, if you look at Nagasaki, that ended a war too. This ended a war in a different way, but it was so devastating. Also, they have out of Dubai, just came that Iran's foreign ministry spokesman, this is Iran's foreign ministry, says its nuclear installations were very badly damaged by the American strike. So what bothered me about these reports, with fake reports put out by the New York Times, I call it the failing New York Times because it's doing terribly. Without me, it would be doing no business at all. But, and by fake news, CNN and MSDNC, all of these terrible people, they have no credibility. When I started, they were at 94% credibility, the media. Now it's at 16%. And I'm very proud of it because I've exposed it for what it is. But when I saw them starting to question the caliber of the attack, was it bad? Well, it was really bad. It was devastating. They were obliterated. In fact, you can't get into the tunnels. They just put that over. That just came out. They can't. There's nothing. There's no way you can even get down. The whole thing is collapsed in a disaster. And I think all of the nuclear stuff is down there because it's very hard to remove. And we did it very quickly. When they heard we were coming, it was, you can't move it. It's very hard, very dangerous, actually, to move to. And they also knew we were coming, so I don't think too many people want to be down there knowing we're coming. With the bunker busters, as we call them, we're the only ones that have them. We have the best equipment, best nuclear equipment, and we have the best equipment in the world. And by the way, we can't forget our submarine, which was out there, submarines actually, but submarine was out there. We shot 30 rockets into an area, every single one of them. I think it was almost 400 miles away, I think, Pete, right? 400 and long. It was in the ocean, long ways away. And we shot a total of 30. Every single one of them hit within 9 inches from where it was supposed to be. It took out a lot because we didn't do just Sporto. We did 2 others in addition, which hadn't been completely destroyed. So we hit them with a submarine from hundreds of miles away. Amazing, just amazing equipment. greatest submarines in the world. Nobody's even close. They're 20 years behind us when it comes to submarine technology. So that's one, and the other was from the Atomic Energy Commission. And they have about 3 or 4 of them now coming in from atomic energy commissions from various places. But the one that we have that just came out, we released it a little while ago, was from the Israeli Atomic Energy Commission. But numerous of them are getting to see the site, and the site has been demolished. And again, we had these brave patriots, these incredible flyers, these people that can fly a plane better than anybody can fly a plane, going into very hostile territory, flying into the territory that has got more missiles and things pointed at it, but it was very stealth. They didn't get to see it. It was dark. That's the amazing thing about the shots. They hit the shots perfectly, and yet it was dead dark. There was no moon. There was no light. It was virtually moonless. It was very dark, and the shots were hit perfectly. But when they get demeaned, and they were very upset about it because they knew how strong it would be. Back in Missouri, the pilots flew about 36 hours, 2 ways, far distance, and in those incredible B-2s. And we then had the F-22s, and we had the F-35s, and we had other planes, and we had, I think, a total of 52 tankers. That means the big tankers, because the refueling was a lot for all of the different planes that we sent. Incredible operation, and I have to say, General Raisin Cain was incredible. That's why he beat ISIS, and we beat ISIS in a matter of weeks. I was told it would take 4 to 5 years. We did it in a few weeks, and he was great. That's why he's the head of the Joint Chiefs of Staff right now, because I had a very good experience with him. He knocked out ISIS in a period of literally a few weeks. Amazing. And it was supposed to take a few years, 5 years to be exact. Safety of Europe, the safety of the world. And they've raised it from 2% to 5%, something which nobody, and you're talking about over $1 trillion a year. So we're talking about a lot of money coming in from countries that we're not paying nearly enough to be effective. So I have, as you know, Marco Rubio with me, and Pete Hegseth, Secretary of State and Secretary of War. Should we say Secretary? You know, it used to be called Secretary of War. Maybe for a couple of weeks we'll call it that, because we feel like warriors. It used to be called Secretary of War. In fact, if you look at the old building next to the White House, Secretary. Do we have any questions, please? Wow. That's a lot of questions, person, but I'll let you ask one. Go ahead. What's he going to ask? He is not nice at all. I know him well.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Yeah.
Thank you for taking the time before flying home. You just said you believe the conflict between Israel and Iran is over. What makes you so confident it is? And what do you do if it isn't?
Because I dealt with both, and they're both.
What he should have said was, because I said so, bitch. I hate reporters, man.
Both tired, exhausted. They fought very, very hard and very viciously, very violently, and they were both satisfied to go home and get out. And can it start again? I guess someday it can. It could maybe start soon. I think a big telltale sign was when, as you know, Iran somewhat, by not much, violated the ceasefire. And Israel had the planes going out that morning, and there were a lot of them, 52 of them. And I said, you got to get them back. And they brought them back. They didn't do anything. They brought them back. It was very good. I thought it was amazing, actually. They have fought a hell of a war. They fought very hard. I think the war ended, actually, when we hit the various nuclear sites with the planes. And I just hope you people can give these pilots, these are the best pilots in the world. They're the best shots in the world. They call them shots. That's what they are. And wait a minute. And like, oh, gee, there was hardly any damage. The things are decimated. So, but I think, no, I think they're very much finished. I think Israel's going to get back to doing what they do. And I think that Iran's going to get back. You know, Iran has a huge advantage. They have great oil and they can do things.
You know, Trump did something very important. He made sure that they always try to use Trump as the buffoon. It's a very clever thing that this government, that a lot of the media does. and people keep missing the point where, are you calling our military incompetent? Because Trump didn't find any, he didn't find any planes last time I checked. He doesn't do military strategy last time I checked, right? So I mean, it's just so funny to me that basically you're saying that our military failed, that they didn't do something right. Specifically the left, man, they're really disgusting, bro. I'm not gonna be on them too hard, but they're disgusting when it comes to some of this stuff, because we're part of the same country. We have to be protected. You know, we spend a lot of money on our military. We spend a lot of money on surveillance, and to pretend that they're incompetent, but not saying it directly to them, trying to use Trump as kind of a proxy, really, I find it pretty funny. And what he just said, I'm not sure if it's been picked up yet, but it sounded like Israel was getting ready to invade, is what it sounded like, and he made them stop. I would love to know more about that part, actually.
See them getting back involved in the nuclear business anymore. I think they've had it. They've been at it for 20 years, and I don't see that happening either. Now, if it does, we're always there. It won't be me. It'll be somebody else, but we're there. We'll have to do something about it. Yes, please, go ahead. Go ahead. Oh, fake news, CNN? Oh, yeah, here we go. Wait till you hear this question. You should really say how great our soldiers and our warriors are.
I think everyone appreciates our soldiers and our warriors. I do have two questions for you, Mr. President. You just cited Israeli intelligence on these attacks. Earlier, you said U.S. intelligence was inconclusive. Are you relying on Israeli intelligence for your assessment of the impact of the strikes?
No, this is also Iran made the statement. And it's also, if you read the document that was given, that Pete can talk about if you'd like, the document said it could be very severe damage. But they didn't take that. They said it could be limited or it could be very severe. They really didn't know, other than to say it could be limited or it could be very, very severe. And you didn't choose to put that because it was very early after. Since then, we've collected additional intelligence. We've also spoken to people who have seen the site, and the site is obliterated. And we think everything nuclear is down there. They didn't take it out. Okay, question, please, go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah. Blue dress.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. Yesterday, you said China can now continue to purchase oil from Iran.
Yeah.
Are you giving up on your maximum pressure campaign? Because there are sanctions right now.
With who?
On Iran.
No, look, they just had a war. The war was fought. They fought it bravely. I'm not giving up. They're in the oil business. I mean, I could stop it if I wanted. I could sell China the oil myself. I don't want to do that. They're going to need money to put that country back into shape. We want to see that happen. No, if they're going to sell oil, they're going to sell oil. We're not taking over the oil. We could have, you know. I used to say with Iraq, keep the oil. I could say it here, too. We could have kept the oil. No, China is going to want to buy oil. They can buy it from us. They can buy it from other people. But you're going to have to put that country back into shape. It desperately needs money. Yeah. Yeah, please. Here we go. I'm picking the beauties today. Go ahead.
Mr. President, Secretary General Rutte has described President Putin as an adversary, a threat, an enemy. Do you view him the same way? And in addition to that, you mentioned General King, your chief of staff, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff.
General King.
Yes, he has said that Mr. Putin has territorial ambitions beyond Ukraine. Do you view that in the same way?
Possible. I mean, it's possible. I know one thing, he'd like to settle. He'd like to get out of this thing. It's a mess for him. He called the other day. He said, can I help you with Iran? I said, no, you can help me with Russia. Because, you know, in the last few weeks, we took care of India and Pakistan, Kosovo, Serbia. I think on Friday we have coming in, the Congo is coming in and Rwanda is coming in. That was a vicious war that went on, a machete war, heads chopped off all over Africa. They're coming in. We did two others in addition to that. Nobody's ever done anything like this. No, I consider him a person that's I think been misguided. I'm very surprised, actually. I thought we would have had that settled easy. I've settled 4 of them in the meantime. But he did call up and he said, he's close to Iran. He'd like to help us get a settlement. I said, no, you help me get a settlement with Russia. And I think we're going to be doing that too. Yeah, please. Go ahead, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. You've made clear your position on what impact the strikes had. I wanted to ask you what is next with Iran. For instance, is there any indication from U.S. intelligence that Iran was able to move any material?
No, we just the opposite. We think we hit them so hard and so fast they didn't get to move. And if you knew about that material, it's very hard and very dangerous to move. It's called in many people they call it dust, but it's very, very heavy. It's very, very hard to move. And they were way down. They're 30 stories down. They're literally 30, 35 stories down underground.
You think we got it all?
Oh yeah, we think we got. We think it's covered with granite, concrete, and steel.
Can I ask you, are you interested in restarting negotiations with Iran? And if so, have they reciprocated?
So our people, Marco could answer this, but our people are not.
I don't have much to say. I'm gonna play a little bit more of this video and see what else we can do. But I mean, the man's making deals, bro. I mean, nothing. I mean, what do you want me to do about it? He's trying to make deals. He's trying to not have wars. He's literally giving you all the information, and somehow the media and the online people can just turn it into this. It's so wacky, bro. It's just crazy to me. I watch it every day. I can't get enough of it, but it's crazy. Just like they're sitting there, they just say things, and it's insane, bro. With no facts, no evidence, no nothing. They take little pieces of information and they run with it and spin stories. It's dangerous, to be honest with you. They talk about the free press. I think it's really, honestly, extremely dangerous, and that really goes for any president or governor or whoever in this country. That something is just not right with the media. It'd be different if they wasn't just chasing the most negative thing or whatever. If he messes up, he messes up. If it's not right, it's not right. But to cherry pick information, to assume our military has failed. It's just they think it's okay. That's the kind of the crazy part is that we can just make it up and say whatever we want to say. It's no big deal, right? Strange, man. It's strange.
I'm not. The way I look at it, they fought. The war's done, and I could get a statement that they're not going to go nuclear. We're probably going to ask for that, but they're not going to be doing it. But they're not going to be doing it anyway. They've had it. They've had it. Now, maybe someday in the future we'll want that. But I've asked Marco, do you want to draw? I just asked him the question as we were walking on the stage. Do you want to draw up a little agreement for them to sign?
I will say this though. If I just want to watch Israel very closely. You know what I'm saying? They have their spies there. They're up to things. I just wonder is that, when you look at Trump, it's like, I want to cut a deal. I want Iran to get back to business. I want them to focus on making money, making their country great, etc. And I just don't think Israel is going to trust it. And again, and even Israel have ambitions as well, obviously, right? They have a military, supposedly have nuclear weapons. They're taking land. They're moving territory. So, I mean, they got their own ambitions as well. And I mean, we back them at the end of the day. And their strategic position for us is anyway, forget all the rhetoric that's out there about all the anti-Israel noise. I mean, it's kind of funny about the whole, and I mean, I'm all for America first, obviously, but in my mind, Israel is America first. Everything else to me is noise. Whoever is out there talking crazy, that's been talking crazy, that I follow, I'm thinking to myself, Israel is not going to be separated from America. Like it's not going to happen, bro. It's just a waste. It's just really waste talking, but it generates clicks and views. But it's just really noise, to be honest with you. Anyway.
Because I think we can get them to sign it. I don't think it's necessary. Marco, do you want to talk about that, please?
Well, Mr. President, I think President Trump has shown a willingness to meet and talk to anybody in the world who's interested in peace. I don't know of any president that's been as willing as he has to meet with anyone and talk about peace. We'd love to have peaceful relations with any country in the world. And so obviously that'll depend on Iran's willingness not just to engage in peace, but to negotiate directly with the United States, not through some third country or fourth country process. But I know of no president, probably in our modern history, that's sought peace more than President Trump has.
Sounds like the door is open, but you're in no rush. Is that right? Sounds like the door is open.
I'll tell you what, look, we're going to talk to them next week with Iran. We may sign an agreement. I don't know. To me, I don't think it's that necessary. I mean, they had a war, they fought. Now they're going back to their world. I don't care if I have an agreement or not. The only thing we'd be asking for is what we were asking for before about we want no nuclear, but we destroyed the nuclear. In other words, it's destroyed. I said, Iran will not have nuclear. Well, we blew it up. It's blown up to kingdom come. And so I don't feel very strongly about it. If we got a document, wouldn't be bad. We're going to meet with them, actually. We're going to meet with them. Yeah. Yeah, go ahead, please.
Yes. Mr. President, Netherlands TV, thank you for visiting our country.
Good.
As I understood, I, of course, like to know how you slept last night at the House of the King.
Oh, I slept beautifully.
But probably a more serious question. I think you just had a meeting with President Zelensky. Did you discuss any ceasefire in this Russo-Ukrainian?
No, I wanted to know how he's doing. He was very nice, actually. You know, we had little rough times sometimes. I think to Vladimir Putin, I think they had, I guess, close, I told you, close to 7,000 young soldiers. A tough battle. Yeah.
Thank you. Ida Hallikainen from Finland, Ilta-Sanomat.
Good.
You have played golf with President Alexander Stubb. How do you see Finland as a NATO ally and partner, and how would you describe your relationship with our president?
Well, he's a very good golfer. Okay. In fact, he was on his college golf team. He went to a good college in the South, as you know, a very good college, and he was a good golfer. We had a good time. I think my relationship's great. I want to buy icebreakers. You know, you're very good at icebreakers. And I actually made him an offer. I didn't go to Congress. They'll try and impeach me for this. But there's an old, it's not old, it's fairly new, but it's used icebreaker. And I offered him about 1/3 of what he asked for. But we're negotiating. We need icebreakers in the U.S. And if we can get some inexpensively, I'd like to do that. Actually, they'll fix it up, make it good. Also, we may buy some icebreakers. You know that you're the king. It's like 5-6 years. Yeah.
What is your definition, and may the U.S. commitment to Article 5 change in case some of the NATO members do not reach the threshold that was discussed today? My second question is following up on the colleague on Iran. What intel reports do say that everything over there was obliterated?
Yeah, well, there are numerous of those reports, and they're coming out fast and furious. But the most respected ones we've already seen. And I will say that on a very confidential basis, they're looking at the reports, like numerous reports, and including people going to the site and checking the site. And they're going to be having, I guess you're going to be having over the next couple of days you're going to encapsulate it. But no, the site was obliterated, just like I said it was. And just like the pilots should be given credit for. As far as Article 5, look, when I came here, you're a little bit different. Unbelievable. I've never seen quite anything like it. They want to protect their country, and they need the United States. And without the United States, it's not going to be the same. And you can ask Mark, or you can ask any of the people that were there. It was really moving to see it. They love, you know, the King of Saudi Arabia. When I was in the Middle East. So I was in Qatar for a different reason, not a reason to get shot at. All three leaders of those countries, and we took back $5.1 trillion into the United States. All three leaders said, you know, you're presiding over the hottest country in the world. The United States right now is the hottest. Everybody wants to be there. Everybody wants a piece of it. He said, a year ago, your country was dead. You had a deadhead running it. You had a country that was dead, and it was dead. You had people pouring through the borders. It had inflation. You had everything. He said, you've made it in 5 months at that time. You've made it the hottest country. This is the hottest country in the world. The United States right now is the hottest country in the world. And when I was around that table, it was a nice group of people, many of whom I knew from previous. When I saw the passion they had for the country, almost everyone, and you probably have the tapes, it was very public, but almost every one of them said, thank God for the United States. Without the United States, they couldn't really have NATO. It wouldn't work. It wouldn't work. It will in the future because now they're paying much more money, but it wouldn't work. It was great. And I left here differently. I left here saying that these people really love their countries. It's not a ripoff. And we're here to help them protect their country. Okay, we'll do one or two more.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Yeah.
A question on Spain. Are you satisfied with today?
Oh, I think Spain's terrible what they've done. No, I do. They're the only country that won't pay the full up. They want to stay at 2%. I think it's terrible. And, they're doing very well. The economy is very well. And that economy could be blown right out of the water with something bad happening. Spain is the only country that... Are you from Spain?
Yeah.
Good, congratulations. You're the only country that is not paying. I don't know what the problem is. I think it's too bad. So we'll make it up. You know what we're going to do? We're negotiating with Spain on a trade deal. We're going to make them pay twice as much. And I'm actually serious about that. We're going to make Spain... I like Spain. I have so many people from Spain that it's a great place and they're great people. But Spain is the only country out of all of the countries that refuses to pay. And, so they want a little bit of a free ride. But they'll have to pay it back to us on trade because I'm not going to let that happen. It's unfair. It's unfair to NATO. All right, sir, please. Go ahead, right in the back. Yeah, you tall one. The tall man.
Mr. President, Johannes Petra from Austrian National Television.
How are you?
You once said that you would end the Ukraine war in 24 hours. You later said that sarcastically.
Well, of course it was sarcastic.
But you've now been in office for 5 months and 5 days. Why have you not been able to end the Ukraine war?
Because it's more difficult than people would have any idea. Vladimir Putin has been more difficult. Frankly, I had some problems with Zelensky. You may have read about him. And it's been more difficult than other wars. I mean, look, we just ended a war in 12 days that was simmering for 30 years, frankly. We ended Rwanda and the Congo. It's coming to sign the documents. We've already signed basic documents, but they're coming, I think, to the White House on Friday. We ended Serbia was going to go at it. But maybe the most important of all, India and Pakistan. And that wasn't whether or not they may someday have nukes like we're talking about in the Middle East, like we're talking about with Israel and Iran. This is they have nuclear weapons. I ended that with a series of phone calls on trade. I said, look, if you're going to go fighting each other, it was getting very bad. You know how bad that last attack was. It was really bad. If you're going to go fighting each other, we're not doing any trade deal. No, you have to do a trade deal. I said, we're not doing any trade deal. And in fact, I had the general, who was very impressive. The general from Pakistan was in my office last week. Prime Minister Modi is a great friend of mine. He's a great gentleman. He's a great man. And I got them to reason. I said, we're not doing a trade deal if you're going to fight. And if you're going to fight each other, we're not doing a trade deal. And you know what? They said, no, I want to do the trade deal. We stopped the nuclear war. Go ahead. Go ahead, Jeff. Here's another beauty, Jeff. He's a beauty, all right. Go ahead.
Mr. President, to follow up on Ukraine, will the United States contribute any more money to Ukraine's defense this year to the $5 billion that allies are giving? And one question, you had another meeting with the Dutch opposition leader, Mr. Wilders. Can you tell us about that meeting? And are you upset about his anti-Muslim stance?
I'm not upset about it. It's just his view. He's unhappy with the way things are going in this country and various countries. He was an opposition leader, and I was asked to meet with the opposition leader by the people that are running. I think they have some deal where if you have a meeting, you're supposed to meet with an opposition leader. I said, that's strange. We don't do that, but I met. I didn't know him. He seemed like a very nice guy, but he's in opposition to the current people, and that was set up by the current people. So I assume when I met with the prime minister, you're supposed to meet with the opposition. We'll have to try that sometime in our country. Let's not do it. But I thought he was very good. As far as money going, we'll see what happens. There's a lot of spirit. Look, Vladimir Putin really has to end that war. People are dying at levels that people haven't seen before for a long time. Go ahead. Go ahead. White shirt. Oh, she's all excited.
So, BBC News Ukrainian.
Where are you from?
I'm from Ukraine.
Oh.
So my question to you is whether or not the US is ready to sell anti-air missile systems Patriot to Ukraine. We know that Russia has been pounding Ukraine really heavily right now.
Are you living yourself now in Ukraine?
My husband is there.
Wow.
And
I can see you very, it's amazing.
And me with the kids, I'm in Warsaw actually, because he wanted me to be.
Is your husband a soldier? No?
He's
there now?
Yeah.
Wow. That's rough stuff, right? That's tough. And you're living here?
In Warsaw.
And you're a reporter?
I am.
Good. So let me just tell you, they do want to have the missiles, okay, as they call them, the Patriots. And we're going to see if we can make some available. They're very hard to get. We need them too. We were supplying them to Israel, and they're very effective, 100% effective. Hard to believe how effective. And they do want that more than any other thing, as you probably know. That's a very good question. And I wish you a lot of luck. I mean, I can see it's very upsetting to you. So say hello to your husband, okay? Thank you. Go ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. You were criticizing.
Where are you from?
Bloomberg News.
Oh, Bloomberg. That's wonderful.
You were criticizing the Federal Reserve Chair before coming to this summit.
Yeah, I think he's terrible.
I was wondering if you've begun interviewing different candidates for the Fed pick.
Yeah, I know within 3 or 4 people who are going to pick. I mean, he goes up pretty soon, fortunately, because I think he's terrible. We have no inflation. We have a tremendous economy. Hundreds of billions of dollars of tariff money is pouring in. Factories are being built because they don't want to pay the tariffs, so they're building them all over the country. I think we're close to $15 trillion. I told you 5.1 trillion from the Middle East alone, but of investment money coming in. There's never been anything like that in the history of our country. But we have no inflation. And we have borrowing because Biden, stupidly, they did short-term debt. So we have borrowing coming up. And, we'll go 10 years, maybe longer, maybe shorter, but we'll go a long period of time when we do the debt. And because of him, because of this guy, we will have to pay for years. We'll be paying for him. And I said to him, listen, there's no inflation. He says, but maybe there'll be some. That's true. I said, if there is some, what you do is raise the rate. I'm okay with that. You raise the rate in 2 years from now or a year from now. But because the rate's high, we have to pay more for debt. It's pretty equal. In other words, if it's 4%, it's 4%. If you drop it a point, you'll pay 3%. So it's fairly equal, not necessarily, but fairly equal. So we're going to end up paying maybe 2 points or 3 points more. 3 points would be about $900 billion a year because of this very average mentally person. He's an average mentally person. I'd say low in terms of what he does, low IQ for what he does, okay? Wait, so instead of paying $900 billion, we don't want to pay 900 just because he doesn't want to lower the rate. I said, if there's inflation in 2 years or 3 years or 1 year from now, you raise the rate, you take care of the inflation, among other things. But he's probably a very political guy, I guess. I don't know. I think he's a very stupid person, actually. All right, one more. Let's go. How about you? Go ahead. She looks so happy and everything.
Thank you. I'm from Spain too. I'm Ana Buc from La Vanguardia. I wanted to know if
you're where from?
Spain too. I wanted to know if you want to.
That's the Spain corner right there. Shouldn't have said that. That's okay. I do like Spain, by the way. I think it's unfair that they're not paying, but go ahead.
Are you going to negotiate directly with Spain about?
I'm going to negotiate directly with Spain. I'm going to do it myself. They're going to pay. They'll pay more money this way. You should tell them to go back and pay. You're a reporter. You tell them to go back. They ought to join all of those countries that are paying 5%. Spain's going to be just about the only one that's not. They were the most hostile toward doing it. It just doesn't make sense to me. Okay. All right, Kelly, go ahead. Here we go. There's another one.
Hello, sir. Thank you very much.
We got them all today.
Okay. So, Mr. President, you talked about expecting some on-the-ground assessments at Fordo and other sites.
Now,
Is that
here
Israeli and U.S.?
All right. These left-wing buffoons, they just don't get it. They don't get it. It's like, bro, these people are psychopaths, man. I ain't gonna hold you. Anyway, I should have been done 20 minutes ago, but it's just so good. I watched it earlier today, man. I mean, they've been running. They had so many other meetings and stuff. But I thought that was a pretty interesting one. I really want to do the Pete and Marco. They had some comments as well I wanted to hear from, but I just don't have time right now. I do want to play because I've been staying away from all the New York stuff, but it's just I got enough going on trying to keep up with stuff. But I did want to play. Steve Kornacki did a quick video. It's like a 5-minute video, I guess. I'm assuming it's going to have some information about Zoran or Zoran or however you say his name. I saw a little bit of it, so I'm just curious. I'm gonna play a little bit of this, and I'm gonna shut it down. Let's see.
The vision of a city that every New Yorker could afford. We have won.
Tonight was not our night. Tonight was Assemblyman Mamdani's night, and he put together a great campaign, and he touched young people and inspired them and moved them.
Welcome back. That was Zoran Mamdani declaring victory and Andrew Cuomo conceding defeat after Tuesday's stunning result in New York City mayoral primary. Mamdani, a 33-year-old Democratic socialist, centered his campaign on progressive policies like universal child care and free city buses. His largely grassroots campaign was powered by small dollar donations and a savvy social media presence that included viral videos featuring progressive politicians and pop culture celebrities. Cuomo, meanwhile, ran a more traditional campaign backed by big-name endorsements like former President Bill Clinton and a heavy rotation of TV ads. But controversy and scandal from his time is...
I will say on the record, I do support Andrew Cuomo. I really want him to run for president. You know, very disappointed that the Democrats ran propaganda against him and took him out on some alleged, allegations. It's just terrible. But anyway, it is what it is.
Governor hung large over his candidacy. The result has Democrats around the country wondering what Mamdani's victory really says about the state and the future of the Democratic Party. Here to dive into the numbers behind Mamdani's historic night is NBC News national political correspondent Steve Kornacki, who is, where else, at the big board. So, Steve, how did he pull off this earthquake?
Yeah, Kristen, I mean, some really interesting numbers here when you take a look inside New York City. First of all, see the overall results here so far. Still some votes to be tabulated here. This won't be official for another week, but as you say, Cuomo's already conceded because, look, Cuomo felt he needed to be ahead after this initial account. They've got that ranked choice system in New York. It was pretty clear that a lot of these other candidates who weren't really in contention when their votes got reallocated in ranked choice, a lot of them had been saying to their voters, if you don't vote for me, vote for Mamdani. So the question was, could Cuomo get far enough ahead last night to withstand that? He didn't even get ahead last night. So that's why this kind of became a foregone conclusion here. We'll break this down now into some of the neighborhoods, though, because I think that's where you really start to see this. Age. You heard Cuomo cite that young voters he said Mamdani had brought out done well with. Here's a tale of two neighborhoods in New York City. This right here, Bay Terrace in Queens. This is the highest median age of any neighborhood in New York City. And look what happened here. The oldest voters That was Cuomo's base here in this primary. He won by a better than 2-to-1 margin over Mamdani. Take a look now. Morningside Heights. This is up by Columbia University. This is the youngest median age of any neighborhood in New York City. And look what happened here. Mamdani won it. He won it overwhelmingly. Better than 2-to-1 against Cuomo. In fact, Cuomo came in third place in this neighborhood. So that's a pattern you saw. The younger areas were big areas for Mamdani. Also, this is a big divide we talk about in American politics, and it's big in the Democratic Party. The education divide. Mamdani doing so much better with voters who had college degrees, or look at this one, advanced degrees. That is a graduate degree or more. Almost half of the people, the adults in Park Slope, Brooklyn, have at least a graduate degree. And look at this. Mamdani got almost half the vote there. Cuomo barely registered, only 13%. A third candidate here, Brad Lander, got 34%. Other end of the education spectrum, more blue collar, working class, no college degree. Almost 90% of the folks in Fordham Heights have no college degree. Look at this. Cuomo, again, a landslide for Cuomo there, nearly 60% of the vote, the education divide. And then, of course, we look among non-white voters here. I thought this is interesting because key core traditional part of the Democratic Party base has been black voters. This neighborhood in Queens, 84% of the adult population is black, and Mario Cuomo, listen to me, Andrew Cuomo wins overwhelmingly against Mamdani, but Cuomo did not run up similar numbers among Latino voters and Asian American voters. Taking a look here in Corona, Queens, highest Latino population, a share of the population. Look at this. It was almost a tie here. Cuomo narrowly winning. Cuomo's folks had been hoping, his campaign had been banking on something much bigger than that here. Asian American, highest concentration, Flushing, Queens, basically a tie right there as well. So that is those two groups, the Latinos, Asian Americans, early in the campaign, the Cuomo people thought that was something of a firewall. That didn't hold up for them last night, and that was a very big key in Mamdani's victory.
Looking at a potential political realignment yet again, this time in the Democratic Party and the Democratic coalition. Steve Kornacki, thank you so much for those fascinating numbers and breakdown of the race.
We thank you for watching. And remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.
All right. That's enough of that. I just want to play a little bit of that. I'm not really, like I said, keeping up with it. If Cuomo would have got it, then I think I would have engaged a little bit more. But some far leftists won the primary. But we'll see what he does. We'll see how this plays out. I can't not but watch it. Shit is every damn where. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and close out. That's pretty much all I got today. I was trying to run for a half hour, but it ended up being 50-something minutes. But that's all I got today. I'll probably do something tomorrow in a couple of days just to finish up with some of the Trump stuff. I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. Trump, and then whatever else is going on, especially if we get more information about the nuclear sites and more assessments start to come out over the next coming weeks. And I also want to do. He had a big cabinet meeting. I want to go over. It's about an hour. I may hold that to Saturday as well. We'll see. But a big cabinet meeting, just talking about some of the things that they have coming up, some of the things they're working on. Definitely want to cover that as well. And I might play some of the crazy leftist people ranting about nonsense. Just so people can know what I'm talking about when you hear some of these psychopaths talk. They look normal. They seem to behave normal, but they are lunatics. Matter of fact, I probably want to play Cenk Uygur, Kyle Kalinske, and what is that chick, and his wife, Crystal Ball. They had a big conversation, and I think that might be kind of funny to be entertained by. But anyway, subscribe, don't subscribe. If you like the show, cool. If you don't like it, cool as well. I do appreciate everybody listening, the commenters, everybody that's watching. Really do appreciate it. I'm going to play a little outro music, and then I'm going to get up off of here. Let's do this.
Fuck the frail shit, cause when my coat come in, they gotta use the scale that they weigh the whales with.
Carson's on the Jeep, Bugatti made the prototype. Hope you get the picture, but you just can't photo light.
Determined niggas make it, kicking down the door and we burning niggas naked.
The house costs $1 million, sitting on the beach, and the only thing I know if it's furnished, I'ma take it.
My bathtub lift up, my walls do a 360. We got the shit that the government got. Talking money, then you rubbing the spot.
Real niggas say that they be wildin'. We on the Cayman Islands, on a yacht with our favorite albums.
A bad hole in a plate of salmon, smoking and drinking. Nigga, is you thinking that our fate is valid?
I love my nigga for the fact that he real, and nobody on the faculty square.
What? And if you facing capital pun, pass me a gun, and I'ma give you time to run while I rapidly peel. We gon' make it, 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 we gon'. I learned the game quickly, and I don't like the rent, so when I fly now, bring my cars on the plane with me. In this case, who's the loser?
Ran through enough coke for Castro to build schools in Cuba. Teach your kids how to read and write and use the Ruger.
Motherfucking niggas is back. Jada and P, we got water,
X-Haze,
plus way to the D. And I'm tired of hearing about old niggas that had it and be the same old niggas that ratted. Who cares? Let's talk about how we hawk niggas and they fucking back.
Gun works official, but niggas don't be wanting that.
Why?
Cause they puss and they mans is lame.
So for real in the hood, we make candy rain.
I could easily send you to God,
but come and see me at the Plaza Hotel. I might give you a job. If you can't remember the name, all you gotta do is ask the dame for the niggas that deliver it hard. We gon' make it. 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 I'll kiss you, you bitch ass nigga. Bet the hood won't miss you, you bitch ass nigga. Might find your man dead in the ocean.
We be alright though.
You know dead rappers get better promotion. Why we don't laugh at death and cry at birth. Never say you can't do it till you try it first. Be the young niggas eager to pull it, but it's a message in everything. Trust me, even a bullet. Go to war with the 8 and the pound. Then you got your ear to the street now. Put your face in the ground, cause my shells is expensive. You'll know exactly why when you yelling and intensive. My fellas is offensive. Lucky cause I got guns that crack your back. But that's not what I prefer. I manufacture crack and niggas turn bitch on the steel. But we know how to bid, so y'all go ahead and swill. I'm comfortable far from home, eating right, getting good rest, either on the bar or the phone. I'm the reason niggas got deals the past few years. Sound anything like Kiss, then sign right here. And y'all just talking, I'm doing it well. Jada Kiss, motherfucker, I'ma see you in hell. What? We gon' make it, we gon' make it, we gon' make it. We gon' make it, we gon' make it.